Jake Morrison felt his ship shake hard as red lights flashed all over the control panel. The engine was dying. He had been flying alone on a simple patrol mission when everything went wrong. Now his small military ship was falling toward a planet that was not supposed to have any people on it. "Come on, stay together," Jake said to his ship as he tried to control the fall. He was a good pilot with 10 years of experience, but even good pilots could not fly without engines. The planet below looked green and blue like Earth. Jake could see forests and rivers through his cracked window. His computer said the air was safe to breathe. That was good news because his ship was going to crash no matter what he did. Jake hit the ground hard. The ship bounced twice before it stopped moving. His head hurt, and his shoulder felt sore. But he was alive. Smoke was coming from the engine, so he grabbed his emergency bag and got out fast. The air smelled like flowers and rain. Jake looked around and saw he was in a beautiful garden. There were purple and gold flowers everywhere. Strange trees with silver leaves made soft music in the wind. It did not look like any place humans had ever been. Jake checked his supplies. He had food for 3 days, water for 2 days, and tools to fix small problems. His radio was broken, so he could not call for help. He needed to find water and shelter while he figured out how to fix his ship. He started walking through the garden. The path was made of smooth white stones. Someone had made this place, but Jake did not see any buildings or people. The garden was too perfect to be natural. After walking for 10 minutes, Jake heard voices. He moved quietly toward the sound and hid behind a large tree. What he saw made him stop breathing. 6 women in armor were standing in a circle around a 7th woman, who wore a long white dress. The armored women looked strong and dangerous. They carried weapons Jake had never seen before. The woman in white was beautiful but looked sad. Jake realized he was watching some kind of important meeting. He should leave, but his foot stepped on a branch. The sound was loud in the quiet garden. All 6 armored women turned toward him. Their weapons were pointed at Jake before he could blink. The woman in white looked at him with wide eyes. "Do not move," said the tallest armored woman. Her voice was strong and cold. "You are not supposed to be here." Jake slowly raised his hands. "I am sorry. My ship crashed. I did not know anyone lived here." The women looked at each other with surprise. They seemed shocked that Jake could talk. "You speak our language," said another woman with short red hair. "How is this possible?" Jake's computer had been working on languages during his fall. It must have picked up their speech from radio signals. "My computer learned your words," he said. "I come in peace. I just need help to fix my ship." The woman in white stepped forward. She opened her mouth like she wanted to speak, but no sound came out. She looked frustrated and pointed to herself, then to Jake. "Empress Lydia cannot speak," said the tall woman. "She wants to know what you are." "I am human," Jake said. "My name is Jake Morrison. I am a soldier from Earth." This caused more surprise. The women talked quickly in words Jake's computer could not understand yet. The woman in white, Empress Lydia, kept staring at Jake. Her eyes were kind but careful. "I am Commander Maya," said the tall woman. "These are my sisters. You have crashed into a private meeting with our Empress. This could be seen as an attack." "It was an accident," Jake said. "I did not choose to crash here. My engine failed." A woman with blonde hair stepped forward. "I am Captain Lisa. Show us this crashed ship." Jake pointed through the trees. "It is that way. You can see the smoke." Lisa looked where Jake pointed and nodded to Maya. "There is a crashed ship, small, designed for 1 person." Maya studied Jake carefully. "You do not look like the other aliens we have met. You look almost like us, but different." Jake noticed that the women did look like humans, but their skin had a slight blue tint and their eyes were larger. They were all tall and strong-looking. "Where are the others of your kind?" asked a woman with dark hair. "Are you here to scout for an invasion?" "I am alone," Jake said. "No one knows where I am. I was just flying around the edge of our territory when my ship broke." Empress Lydia walked closer to Jake. She moved slowly and carefully like a cat watching a mouse. When she was close enough to touch him, she reached out her hand. Jake stayed still as she touched his arm. Her touch was gentle and warm. She looked into his eyes and he felt something strange, like someone was trying to talk inside his head, but the words would not come through clearly. Lydia stepped back and shook her head. She made hand movements to the other women. "The Empress cannot read your thoughts," said Maya. "This is very unusual. Most beings can be read by our people." "I do not know anything about reading thoughts," Jake said. "Humans cannot do that." A younger woman with brown hair spoke up. "I am Lieutenant Kate. If he is telling the truth, he might not be dangerous, but we cannot be sure." Another woman with bright green eyes said, "I am Sergeant Amy. We should take him to the palace and question him properly. Or we should just kill him now," said a woman with black hair. "I am Corporal Beth. Dead aliens cannot bring their armies back." The youngest-looking woman hit Beth on the arm. "Do not be mean, Beth. I am Dana. He seems nice enough." Jake looked at all the women around him. Each one was beautiful and dangerous in her own way. But Empress Lydia was the one who made him most curious. Why could she not speak? Why did she look so sad? "What will you do with me?" Jake asked. Maya and Lydia looked at each other. Lydia made more hand movements. "The Empress has decided," Maya said. "You will come with us. If you try to run or fight, we will kill you. If you cooperate, you will be treated fairly, while we decide what to do with you." Jake nodded. He did not have much choice. His ship was broken. He was alone on an alien planet, and these women had weapons that could probably cut through steel. "I will cooperate," he said. "Thank you for not killing me." Lydia smiled a little at this. She made a gesture that Jake thought might mean, "You are welcome." As they started walking toward whatever palace they were taking him to, Jake wondered how a simple patrol mission had turned into first contact with an alien species. He also wondered why the most powerful woman on this planet could not speak, and why her daughters all seemed to be warriors. One thing was certain: his life had just become much more complicated. The palace was bigger than anything Jake had ever seen. It was made of white stone that seemed to glow in the sunlight. Tall towers reached toward the sky, and gardens filled every open space. Jake walked in the middle of the 6 sisters while Empress Lydia led the way. People stopped to stare as they passed. The citizens of this world looked like the royal family, tall, strong, with that slight blue tint to their skin. Most of them were women, but Jake saw some men too. Everyone bowed. When they saw the Empress, they entered the palace through huge doors. The inside was just as impressive as the outside. The walls were covered with pictures of battles and ceremonies. Jake noticed that all the leaders in the pictures were women. "This way," Maya said, guiding Jake down a long hallway. They stopped at a room with a large table and many chairs. Empress Lydia sat at the head of the table and pointed to a chair across from her. Jake sat down, and the 6 sisters took seats on both sides. Lydia picked up a piece of paper and began to draw. When she finished, she showed it to Jake. It was a picture of his ship. Jake nodded. "Yes, that is my ship." Lydia drew another picture. This one showed stick figures with one pointing up at the sky. "You want to know where I come from?" Jake asked. Lydia smiled and nodded. She was pleased that Jake understood her drawing. Jake took the paper and drew his own picture. He drew a round planet, then drew a line to another planet, then another line to where they were now. "I come from a planet called Earth," he said. "It is very far away." Dana leaned forward with interest. "How far?" Jake thought about how to explain it simply. If you could travel as fast as light, it would take about 50 days to get there. The sisters looked impressed. Lisa whistled softly. "That is very far. Why did you come here?" "I was not trying to come here," Jake said. "I was flying around the edge of our space when my ship broke. I ended up here by accident." Lydia drew another picture. This one showed many stick figures. "She wants to know how many humans there are," Amy said. Jake drew a picture of Earth with lots and lots of tiny dots on it. Many billions. We live on one main planet, but we have colonies on other worlds too. Beth frowned. That sounds like a threat. Billions of warriors could conquer our world. Most humans are not warriors, Jake said. Most are farmers, builders, teachers, and other peaceful jobs. Only some of us are soldiers. Kate looked skeptical. All of our women are trained to fight. How do you protect yourselves if most of your people cannot fight? We have armies, but we do not need everyone to be a soldier, Jake explained. We try to solve problems with words before we use weapons. This seemed to surprise the sisters. Maya asked, "What happens if words do not work?" "Then we fight," Jake said simply. "But we prefer peace." Lydia tapped the table to get attention. She drew a picture of herself with a line through her mouth, then pointed to her throat. Jake understood she was trying to explain why she could not speak. He drew a question mark. Lydia looked sad. She drew a picture of monsters attacking stick figures. Then she drew herself with wavy lines coming from the monsters toward her head. Something attacked her mind, Jake said quietly. Maya nodded with surprise. "You understand quickly?" "Yes. Evil creatures called Void Speakers attacked our Empress during peace talks. They damaged her mind so she cannot speak without great pain." Jake felt angry at these Void Speakers. "That is a terrible thing to do." Lydia looked surprised at his anger. She had not expected this stranger to care about her pain. "Can I ask you something?" Jake said to all of them. Maya nodded. "Why are you all warriors?" "On my world, some women are soldiers, but not all of them," Lisa answered. "This is our way. Women rule and fight. Men take care of homes and children mostly." "That is different from humans," Jake said. "But not bad. Just different." The sisters looked at each other. They had expected Jake to say their way was wrong. Dana asked, "What are human women like?" Jake smiled. "Strong, smart, brave. Some are soldiers like you. Some are leaders. Some are builders. Some are mothers. They can do anything they want." "And human men?" Kate asked. "The same. We believe everyone should choose their own path." Lydia drew another picture. This one showed Jake's ship with tools around it. "You want to know if I can fix my ship?" Jake asked. Lydia nodded. Jake looked uncertain. "Maybe. I need to see how bad the damage is. I also need parts that might not exist here." Dana's eyes lit up. "I work with machines and technology. Maybe I can help." "That would be good," Jake said. "Thank you." Maya stood up. "We will take you to see your ship tomorrow. Tonight you will stay in our guest rooms. Guards will watch you." "I understand," Jake said. "I am grateful for your kindness." As they got up to leave, Lydia touched Jake's arm. When he looked at her, she made a gesture like she was writing. "She wants to write to you," Amy explained. A servant brought paper and a pen. Lydia wrote carefully and showed it to Jake. The words were in his language. His computer had taught them well. "Thank you for being kind about my silence," the note said. "Most people are uncomfortable around me." Jake took the pen and wrote back, "Your silence does not make you less important. You are still clearly a great leader." Lydia smiled, the first real smile Jake had seen from her. She wrote again, "You are not like other aliens we have met." "What were the others like?" Jake wrote. Lydia's face became serious. She wrote, "Cruel. They wanted to conquer us or steal from us. They did not see us as equals." Jake wrote, "I am sorry they treated you badly. Humans believe all intelligent beings deserve respect." This made all the sisters look at each other with surprise. Respect from other species was not something they had experienced before. Lisa asked, "Is this really what humans believe?" "Most of us, yes," Jake said. "We fight sometimes, even among ourselves, but we try to treat others fairly." Kate said, "You will need to prove this. Words are easy. Actions are harder." "That is fair," Jake agreed. "I hope you will give me the chance to prove it." Maya called for guards to escort Jake to his room. As he was leaving, Lydia wrote one more note and handed it to him. "Sleep well, Jake Morrison. Tomorrow we will see if you are truly different." Jake's room was comfortable, but simple. There was a bed, a chair, a table, and a window that looked out over the gardens. 2 guards stood outside his door. As Jake lay in bed, he thought about the day. He had crashed on an alien world and somehow survived meeting the royal family. The Empress seemed kind but damaged. Her daughters were dangerous but not evil. Jake realized this was probably the most important day in human history. He was the first human to meet another intelligent species. What he did here could determine whether humans and these people became friends or enemies. He also thought about Empress Lydia. There was something about her that made him want to help her. Maybe it was the sadness in her eyes, or the way she had smiled when he was kind about her silence. Jake had come here by accident, but now he felt like he had a purpose. He wanted to help these people, and he wanted to show them that humans could be trusted. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. He would need to prove himself to 6 warrior princesses, and somehow find a way to fix his ship. But tonight, for the first time since crashing, Jake felt hopeful. Outside his window, the alien moon cast silver light across the palace gardens. Somewhere in this huge building, an empress who could not speak was probably thinking about the strange human who had fallen from the sky. Jake closed his eyes and tried to sleep. Tomorrow would be a big day. Jake woke up when sunlight came through his window. A servant brought him food that looked strange but tasted good. The guards led him to a courtyard where the 6 sisters were waiting. "Today you will show us what human soldiers can do," Maya said. "Each of us will test you in different ways." Jake nodded. "I am ready." Maya pointed to a table covered with maps and toy soldiers. "First, I want to see how you think about war. Here is a battle situation. Show me how humans would handle it." Jake studied the map. It showed a valley with a small force surrounded by enemies. The toy soldiers represented different types of fighters. "This looks bad," Jake said. "The small force is trapped." "Yes," Maya said. "How would you save them?" Jake thought carefully. He moved some of the toy soldiers around. "I would not try to save them the normal way. Instead, I would make the enemy think I was attacking from the front while my real attack came from behind." Maya looked interested. "Explain more." Jake moved more pieces. "I would send a small group to make noise and fires here to get attention. While the enemy looks at them, my main force would climb the cliffs behind them. No one expects an attack from there because it looks impossible." "That is very risky," Maya said. "Yes, but sometimes humans win by doing things others think are impossible," Jake replied. Maya smiled. "Interesting. Lisa, your turn." Lisa led Jake to a flight simulator. It looked different from human technology, but Jake could see what it was for. "Can you fly?" Lisa asked. "Yes, I am a pilot," Jake said. Lisa showed him the controls. They were similar enough to human controls that Jake could figure them out. The simulation started, and Jake found himself flying through a dangerous canyon. While enemy ships chased him, Jake's human reflexes and training served him well. He flew fast and used tricks he had learned in human flight school. When the simulation ended, Lisa looked impressed. "You fly like you are not afraid of crashing," she said. "Fear makes you careful, but too much fear makes you slow," Jake replied. "Humans learn to use fear, not let it control us." Kate took Jake to a training area with weights and obstacle courses. "Show me how strong you are," she said. Jake was not as strong as Kate. She could lift much more weight than him. But when they ran the obstacle course, Jake's endurance surprised her. He kept going even when he was tired and breathing hard. "You are weaker than us, but you do not give up," Kate said. "Humans are not the strongest or fastest species," Jake said. "But we are very stubborn. We keep trying even when we should quit." Amy led Jake to a room full of puzzles and brain games. She gave him problems that required sneaky thinking and clever solutions. Jake enjoyed these challenges. He used human creativity to solve them in ways Amy had not expected. When he finished, Amy was quiet for a long time. "You think in strange ways," she finally said. "But your strange thinking works." Beth questioned Jake about human military organization and technology. She tried to trick him into revealing secrets, but Jake was careful to only share information that was not dangerous. "You are good at keeping secrets," Beth admitted. "But you do not lie. That is unusual." Finally, Dana brought Jake to her workshop. It was full of machines and tools that Jake had never seen before. "I want to understand your technology," Dana said. "Can you explain how your ship works?" Jake and Dana spent hours looking at his crashed ship. Jake explained human engineering, while Dana showed him how their technology worked. They found that their science was similar in some ways but very different in others. "Your people are good at making things simple and reliable," Dana said. "Our technology is more advanced, but it breaks more often. Humans have learned to build things that work even when they are damaged," Jake said. "We expect our equipment to get broken in fights." As they worked together, Jake noticed that Dana was very smart and creative. She also seemed less suspicious of him than her sisters. "Can I ask you something personal?" Jake said. Dana nodded. "Why does your mother seem so sad? Even when she smiles, her eyes look hurt." Dana stopped working and looked at Jake carefully. "You really notice things, do not you?" "I try to pay attention to people," Jake said. "In my job, understanding people can save lives." Dana sighed. Mother was not always silent. She used to speak beautifully. She was known across many worlds for her wisdom and her voice. "Is what happened. The Void Speakers came to make peace talks 3 years ago, but it was a trick. They did not want peace. They wanted to hurt her mind so she could not lead us anymore." Jake felt angry again. How exactly did they hurt her? "They have terrible mental powers. They can reach into your thoughts and break them. They tried to destroy Mother's mind completely, but she is very strong. She fought them off, but the attack left her unable to speak without terrible pain." "That is horrible," Jake said quietly. "The worst part is that Mother blames herself." Dana continued. "She thinks she failed our people by trusting the Void Speakers. She's not been the same since." Jake thought about this. "Has anyone tried to heal her?" "Our doctors have tried everything. They say the damage is too deep to fix." Jake looked at the technology around Dana's workshop. An idea was forming in his mind. "What if the problem is not medical?" he asked. "What if it is technical?" Dana looked confused. "What do you mean?" "You said the Void Speakers damaged her mind with their powers. What if we could build something to help her speak without using the damaged parts of her brain?" Dana's eyes grew wide. "You mean like a machine that could help her?" "Maybe. On my world, we have technology that can help people who cannot speak or hear. It is not magic. It is just science." Dana got excited. "Show me what you mean." Jake drew diagrams on Dana's paper. He explained how human technology could read brain signals and turn them into speech. Dana asked many questions and added her own ideas. "This might actually work," Dana said. "Our technology is better at reading thoughts than yours. Your technology is better at making reliable machines. Together we might be able to help your mother," Jake finished. They worked late into the evening. Other servants brought food, but Jake and Dana barely noticed. They were too excited about their idea. When they finally stopped, Dana looked at Jake with new respect. "You really want to help Mother, do not you?" "Yes," Jake said. "She seems like a good person who has been hurt badly. If I can help, I want to try." "Why?" Dana asked. "You do not even know us." Jake thought about how to explain. "Because it is the right thing to do, and because no one should have to suffer alone if others can help." Dana smiled. "You are very different from other aliens. Most of them only care about what they can take from us. What do other aliens want from you? Our technology, our planet, our women as slaves. They see us as things to use, not people to know." Jake felt disgusted. "That is wrong. Intelligent beings should not be treated like objects." "You really believe that, do not you?" "Yes. Every person has value, no matter what species they are." Dana stood up and walked to the window. Outside, The palace gardens were dark, except for soft lights along the paths. "Jake," she said quietly, "there is something else you should—" "No." "What?" "My sisters and I have been talking. We all think you are interesting." Jake felt confused. "Interesting how?" Dana turned back to him, and Jake could see she was embarrassed. "Interesting, like, we find you attractive, all of us." Jake did not know what to say. "Oh, is that a problem for humans, being liked by more than one person?" "It is complicated," Jake said. "Humans usually choose one partner at a time." "Our customs are different," Dana said. "Sometimes a worthy man might be courted by several women. The strongest woman usually wins, but not always." Jake realized his situation had just become much more complex. "Does that include your mother?" Dana looked surprised that Jake had figured that out so quickly. "Yes, Mother is interested in you too. We can all see it." Jake sat down heavily. He had crashed on an alien planet, met a royal family of warrior women, and now apparently several of them found him romantically interesting. "This is very complicated," he said. Dana laughed. "Yes, it is. But maybe that is not a bad thing." Before Jake could ask what she meant, Maya appeared in the doorway. "Dana, it is time for Jake to rest," Maya said. "Tomorrow will be another busy day." As the guards escorted Jake back to his room, his mind was spinning. The technology project with Dana gave him hope that he could help Empress Lydia. But the personal complications made everything much more difficult. Jake lay in bed thinking about the beautiful, sad Empress who could not speak, and her 6 dangerous, intelligent daughters, who apparently all found him interesting. His simple patrol mission had definitely become the most complicated situation of his life. Jake woke up to the sound of alarms. Red lights flashed in his room, and he could hear people running in the hallways. The guards outside his door looked worried. Maya burst into his room without knocking. "Get dressed quickly," she said. "We have a big problem." Jake put on his clothes fast. "What is happening?" "Void speaker ships have been spotted at the edge of our system," Maya said. "They are coming here." Jake felt cold fear in his stomach. These were the creatures that had hurt Empress Lydia. "How long until they arrive?" 3 days, maybe 4, Maya said. "Come. Mother wants to see you." They ran through the palace corridors. Everyone was moving with urgent purpose. Soldiers were preparing weapons and checking armor. Jake could see the fear in people's faces. In the main throne room, Empress Lydia sat on a chair that looked like it was made for war instead of ceremonies. The 6 sisters stood around her. Maps and battle plans covered tables nearby. Lydia saw Jake and pointed to a chair near her. When he sat down, she wrote quickly on paper and showed it to him. "The void speakers are coming back. They want to finish what they started. Will you help us?" Jake took the pen and wrote back, "Yes. Tell me what you need." Lydia smiled sadly and wrote, "You do not understand how dangerous they are. They could kill you easily." Jake wrote, "I am a soldier. Danger is part of my job. Besides, they hurt you. That makes them my enemies too." Lydia stared at what Jake had written. She looked surprised that this human stranger would consider her pain a reason to fight. Maya spoke up. "We have fought the void speakers before. They are very difficult enemies. They can attack your mind and make you see things that are not real. They can also make you forget who you are." "How do you defend against that?" Jake asked. "Strong will and mental discipline," Amy said. "But even our best warriors sometimes fall to their attacks." Lisa pointed to the maps. "They also have good technology. Their ships are fast and their weapons are powerful." Jake studied the battle plans. "What is your normal strategy against them?" Kate answered. "We usually try to defend our cities and important places. We let them attack us while our people hide in strong buildings." "Has this worked before?" Jake asked. Beth shook her head. "Not really. We survive, but we lose many warriors, and they damage our world." Jake looked at the maps more carefully. "What if we tried a different approach?" "What do you mean?" Maya asked. "On my world, we have learned that sometimes the best defense is a good attack," Jake said. Instead of waiting for them to hit you, you hit them first. The sisters looked at each other with surprise. This was not how they usually thought about war. How would that work? Dana asked. Jake pointed to the star maps. They expect you to hide and defend. What if we surprise them with an attack while they are still traveling here? Lydia wrote a note. Our ships are not as fast as theirs. Jake read it and wrote back. Speed is not always the most important thing. Sometimes being smart is better than being fast. Jake stood up and went to the map table. May I show you something? Maya nodded. Jake started moving pieces around on the tactical display. The void speakers are coming from this direction, right? Yes, Lisa said. And they expect you to be here defending your planet? Right again. Jake moved more pieces. What if most of your forces were not here when they arrived? What if they were waiting in ambush along the path the void speakers have to take? Kate frowned. That would leave our planet undefended. Not undefended, Jake said, lightly defended. You make it look like most of your forces are here, but actually most of them are hiding out there. Amy began to understand. So when the void speakers attack our planet, they get surprised by our hidden forces attacking their rear. Exactly, Jake said. And while they are confused and fighting in two directions, that is when you hit them with everything you have. Maya studied the plan. This is very risky. If it fails, we lose everything. If your normal plan fails, you also lose everything, Jake pointed out. At least this way, you might win instead of just surviving. Lydia had been writing while they talked. She showed her note to everyone. This human thinks like a warrior, not like prey. I like this plan. Lisa asked, but how do we hide our ships from their sensors? Jake thought about this. Do you have places in your system where sensors do not work well, like near big asteroids or planets with magnetic fields? Dana's eyes lit up. Yes. There are several places like that. Then we hide your ships there, Jake said. The void speakers will not see them until it is too late. Beth asked the hard question. What about their mind attacks? How do we fight enemies who can make us forget who we are? Jake had been thinking about this too. On my world, we have learned that strong emotions can help protect your mind. If you have something very important to fight for, it is harder for enemies to confuse you. What do you mean? Amy asked. Think about what you are protecting, Jake said. Your mother, your sisters, your people, your world. When the void speakers try to attack your mind, remember why you are fighting. Lydia wrote another note. Can humans help us fight? Jake wrote back. I can call my people, but it will take time for them to get here. This battle will probably be over before they arrive. Lydia wrote, Then you will fight alone among aliens. Jake wrote, I will not be alone. I will fight with friends. This made all the sisters look at him with new respect. Even Beth, who had wanted to kill him when they first met, seemed impressed. Maya made a decision. We will try this plan. Dana, work with Jake to figure out the technical details. Lisa, start preparing our pilots for unusual tactics. Kate, get our ground forces ready for rapid deployment. Amy, organize our intelligence network. Beth, make sure our communications stay secure. Everyone moved to follow Maya's orders, but Lydia held up her hand to stop them. She wrote a long note and showed it to Jake. I want to try the machine you and Dana designed. If I can speak again, I can coordinate our forces better, but I am afraid. What if it does not work? What if it makes things worse? Jake took the pen and wrote, Fear is normal, but sometimes the only way past fear is through it. Your people need their Empress to have a voice, and you deserve to speak. Again. Lydia read this and tears came to her eyes. She wrote, Why do you care so much about helping me? Jake thought carefully before writing his answer. Because you are a good leader who was hurt by evil people, because your daughters love you and want you to be happy, and because I think you are a remarkable woman who deserves better than silence. Lydia stared at Jake's words for a long time. Then she wrote, If we survive this battle, I would like to know you better. Jake wrote, I would like that too. Maya cleared her throat. We have a war to plan. Personal matters can wait. But Jake saw Maya smiling a little as she said it. The next 2 days were busy and tense. Jake worked with Dana to finish the speech device. They tested it many times to make sure it would not hurt Lydia. Meanwhile, the sisters prepared their forces for the new battle plan. Jake also shared human military tactics with the Valkyrian commanders. He taught them about combined operations, where different types of forces work together. He showed them communication methods that were harder for enemies to disrupt. The alien warriors were fast learners. They adapted Jake's ideas to work with their technology and their fighting styles. Soon they had a battle plan that combined the best of human and Valkyrian thinking. On the third day, long-range sensors detected the Void Speaker fleet. They were moving fast toward the planet. "It is time," Maya announced. Lydia sat in Dana's workshop while Jake and Dana attached the speech device. It looked like a thin collar that went around her neck, small wires connected to points behind her ears. "Are you ready?" Dana asked. Lydia nodded, but Jake could see she was nervous. Jake took her hand. "Whatever happens, you are brave for trying." Dana activated the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Lydia opened her mouth. Can you hear me?" The voice was quiet and a little mechanical, but it was clearly Lydia speaking. Jake and Dana both smiled. "We can hear you," Jake said. Lydia started to cry, but she was also smiling. "I can speak again. After 3 years of silence, I have my voice back." She hugged Jake and Dana both. Thank you both so much." Maya's voice came over the communication system. "All forces to battle stations. The Void Speakers will be here in 6 hours." Lydia stood up straight. When she spoke again, her voice was stronger. "Then it is time for the Empress of Valkyria to address her people." Jake realized he was about to see Empress Lydia in her true form, not as the sad, silent woman he had met, but as the powerful leader she really was. The battle for Valkyria was about to begin. Empress Lydia's voice rang through every speaker in the palace and across the planet. It was the first time she had spoken to her people in 3 years. "My brave warriors," she said. "Today we face the enemies who tried to steal my voice and crush our spirit. But they failed. We are still here, still strong, and still free." Jake stood beside her in the command center, wearing armor that Dana had made to fit him. Through the windows, he could see Valkyrian ships launching into space. "The human Jake Morrison has shown us new ways to fight," Lydia continued. "Today we will not hide like frightened animals. Today we hunt the hunters." Maya's voice came through the communications. "Empress, our forces are in position. The Void Speakers do not see our hidden ships." "Excellent," Lydia replied. "Lisa, are your pilots ready?" "Ready and eager, Mother," Lisa answered from her command ship. Jake watched the tactical display. The Void Speaker fleet was massive, at least 50 ships, all black and angular like insects made of metal. They were heading straight for the planet, just as predicted. "Kate, prepare the ground defenses," Lydia ordered. "Make it look like we are scared and trying to hide." "Already done, Mother," Kate replied. "We are putting on a good show for them." The Void Speaker ships entered the outer atmosphere. Immediately they began their mental attacks. Jake felt something trying to push into his mind. Cold, alien thoughts that wanted to make him forget who he was. But Jake remembered what he had told the sisters. He thought about his reasons for fighting: to protect Lydia, to help the sisters, to defend innocent people. The alien thoughts could not take hold. "Human mental defenses are strong," Amy reported with surprise. "Jake is not affected by their attacks at all." "That is good news," Lydia said. "All forces, remember what you are fighting for. Remember who you love." The Void Speakers began attacking the planet's defenses. Explosions lit up the sky as their dark ships fired weapons that looked like black lightning. Kate's ground forces fought back, but they were clearly outmatched. This was all part of the plan, but Jake still felt nervous watching the battle. "They are taking the bait," Beth reported from her intelligence post. "The Void Speakers think we are weak and desperate." "Perfect," Lydia said. "Maya, begin phase 2. Maya's voice was calm and cold. All hidden forces. Attack now. Suddenly, the space around the Void Speaker fleet filled with Valkyrian ships. They had been hiding behind asteroids and moons, waiting for this moment. The Void Speakers were caught completely by surprise. Their ships tried to turn and fight, but they were surrounded and confused. "Lisa, take your squadron and hit their command ship," Lydia ordered. "With pleasure, Mother," Lisa replied. Jake watched Lisa's fighters dive toward the biggest Void Speaker ship. The alien vessel was huge and covered with weapons, but Lisa's pilots flew with incredible skill. "Dana, can you disrupt their communications?" Lydia asked. "Already working on it, Mother," Dana said from her technical station. "I am using some of Jake's ideas about electronic warfare." The battle was fierce. Void Speaker ships were destroyed, but they fought back hard. Several Valkyrian ships were damaged or lost. Jake felt helpless watching from the command center. "Is there anything I can do to help?" Lydia looked at him thoughtfully. "Actually, yes, Beth, do you have a way to get Jake to Maya's ship?" "I can do that," Beth said, "but why?" "Because Jake thinks differently than we do," Lydia explained. "Maya might need that different thinking." 5 minutes later, Jake was in a small, fast ship with Beth piloting. She flew through the battle with amazing skill, avoiding enemy fire and debris. "You really want to help us, do not you?" Beth asked as she dodged a Void Speaker weapon blast. "Of course," Jake said. "You are my friends now." Beth smiled. It was the first time Jake had seen her smile. "I am sorry I wanted to kill you when we first met." "That is okay," Jake said. "I understand why you were suspicious." They reached Maya's command ship just as it was being attacked by 3 Void Speaker vessels. Maya's ship was damaged and barely fighting back. Jake and Beth got on board and ran to the command bridge. Maya was wounded but still giving orders. "Jake," Maya said when she saw him. "What are you doing here?" "Helping," Jake said simply. "What do you need?" Maya pointed to the tactical display. "We hurt them badly, but their main command ship is still working. As long as it survives, they can coordinate their attacks." Jake studied the display. The Void Speaker command ship was in the center of their formation, protected by other ships. "What if we do not attack it directly?" Jake suggested. "What do you mean?" Maya asked. Jake pointed to the display. "Look at how they are positioned. If we could make them think we were retreating, they might chase us. That would spread them out and leave their command ship less protected." Maya's eyes lit up with understanding. "A fake retreat to break their formation?" "Exactly. Then while some of our ships pretend to run away, others circle around and attack from behind." Maya quickly gave new orders. Several Valkyrian ships began to pull back, acting like they were damaged and retreating. The Void Speakers took the bait. Their ships broke formation to chase the retreating Valkyrians. "Now," Maya ordered. Lisa's squadron, which had been hiding behind a large asteroid, swooped in and attacked the now isolated command ship. The battle turned quickly after that. Without their command ship to coordinate them, the Void Speaker ships became confused and disorganized. The Valkyrian forces, working together with their new human-inspired tactics, destroyed the remaining enemy ships one by one. When the last Void Speaker ship exploded, a cheer went up from every Valkyrian vessel. "Victory!" Lydia's voice rang through all the communication channels. "The Void Speakers are defeated." Jake felt exhausted but happy. The battle was over, and they had won. Back on the planet, there was a huge celebration. The palace was filled with music and laughter. The 6 sisters were heroes, and Jake found himself treated as an honored guest instead of a prisoner. That evening, Jake sat with Empress Lydia in her private garden, the same garden where he had crashed just a week ago. "I still cannot believe." "It worked," Lydia said. Her voice device let her speak normally now, though she still preferred to be quiet sometimes. "Your plan, or the speech device?" Jake asked. "Both," Lydia laughed. "A week ago, I could not speak and my people were afraid. Now I have my voice back and we have defeated our greatest enemies." "You did most of the work," Jake said. "I just gave you some ideas." Lydia moved closer to him on the garden bench. You gave me much more than ideas, Jake Morrison. You gave me hope. Jake looked into her eyes. What happens now? Now we build something new, Lydia said. I want to make an alliance between your people and mine. We can learn from each other. The human fleet will arrive in a few days, Jake said. They will want to know what happened here. And I will tell them about the brave human pilot who helped save our world, Lydia said. They sat quietly for a while, listening to the celebration continuing in the palace. There is something else we need to talk about, Lydia said finally. What? My daughters all care about you very much, and I care about you too. Jake had been expecting this conversation. I care about all of you too, but this is complicated. Yes, it is, Lydia agreed. Our customs allow for complex relationships, but I do not know about human customs. Jake thought carefully. Humans usually choose one partner, but we also believe in adapting to new situations. Maybe we can find a way that works for everyone. Lydia smiled. I would like to try. But first, let me ask you something important. What? Do you want to stay here with us, or do you want to go back to your own people? Jake looked around the beautiful garden, then back at Lydia's kind face. I want to stay, at least for a while. I think I can do more good here than anywhere else. Even though staying means dealing with 6 warrior princesses who all want your attention, Jake laughed. Especially because of that, someone has to keep you all out of trouble. Lydia laughed too. I think we are more likely to get you into trouble. Just then, all 6 sisters appeared in the garden. They had been listening from behind the trees. We have been talking, Maya said, and we have decided something. What? Jake asked nervously. Dana stepped forward. We think you should be our official military advisor. Someone who can teach us more human tactics, and our technology consultant, Lisa added, and our cultural ambassador, Amy said, and our friend, Kate said simply, and maybe more than that if you want, Beth said with a shy smile. Jake looked at all 7 women surrounding him. A week ago, he had been a simple pilot on a routine mission. Now he was apparently going to be a military advisor, ambassador, and something else, to an alien royal. Family, this is definitely not what I expected when I woke up last week, he said. Is that a bad thing? Lydia asked. Jake thought about it. He had helped defeat a terrible enemy, given a voice back to a good woman, made friends with 6 amazing warriors, and possibly found love in the most unexpected place. No, he said finally. I think this is exactly where I am supposed to be. The celebration in the palace continued late into the night. Ships from both worlds would arrive soon, and there would be formal meetings and treaties to sign. But for now, Jake Morrison, the human pilot who had crashed into a blind date with destiny, was exactly where he belonged, surrounded by the strange, wonderful family he had found among the stars. The future would bring new challenges and adventures,